Hi guys! So it's so nice to be with you again today for episode 19 of season 2 of my Inspirations podcast. So this is a podcast about knitting and also yarn dyeing because I'm an indie dyer based in France and I'm dyeing a lot of yarn that you can find in my shop. So if you are a regular viewer, thank you so much for joining me again today. I'm super happy to be with you and to be able to chat a bit about what's going on at Tricot Stitch. And if you are new to the podcast, and you might be because next weekend, so today is May the 28th, and this podcast, episode 19, will be available on YouTube on the 31st of May. Sorry, I'm a bit tired. I had my first shot of the COVID vaccine this morning and I'm a bit tired. I was tired before that. I don't blame the vaccine on that, but it might play just a tad, so I don't know. For the time being, I'm perfectly fine. I don't hurt, everything's okay. Just this bit of, tiredness, but otherwise perfectly fine. But just be indulgent if I'm, not super eloquent this time around, or if I'm, searching for words a bit. Anyway, end of the digression. I don't remember what I was saying. Nice. Yes. I was saying that this episode will be uploaded on YouTube on the 31st of May, and you might be viewing this episode as your first because I'm very happy to be participating in the Knit with Friends festival this weekend, the coming weekend. So that's for you guys. It's the 5th and 6th of June. Yes. So maybe you're joining me today because you've learned about Tricot Stitch like this by the festival and my participation in the festival. So if that's so, very welcome. I'm very happy that you are checking me out today. Or maybe you're joining because you've seen my latest design in Len magazine, and as well, thank you so much for checking me out. So Tricot Stitch is a French indie dyeing business. I'm also an aimable stockist, and I'm totally open to international orders and new international friends. So I don't know from which country you're viewing the podcast. If you feel like doing so, I would be delighted to know in which country you are. Don't hesitate to leave a comment to let me know in which country you are. I would really love to know. So today will be a short podcast because I had a huge aimable restock last week, an aimable update of the shop, and it was absolutely successful. So thank you very much, guys. I had a bunch of orders to prepare this week and I was actually a bit overwhelmed. And but I have this very work hard, play hard mentality, and I really wanted to get all the orders out of the door as quick as possible. So I worked early in the morning, I worked late at night, but guys, I did it. Every order placed between Monday and Thursday night went out of the door this week. So I'm very, very proud. I'm happy to have done that, but there is zero knitting time this week. Zosh. Nothing, no knitting to share with you guys. No, I'm sorry about that, because if you've been watching the last few episodes, I've been, knitting on my Not Just Another Gnome mystical. I'm sorry, I don't have anything to show you guys this time around. I'm not finished. I still have clues 6 and 7 to knit. So hopefully next week I'll be able to share that with you. Although I'm presenting you today the Almanac colorway for the month of June. So next week might be as, you know, crowded in orders as last week. But I mean, if that's the case, that's super cool. Okay, so I'm talking about work hard, play hard, because I've been working very hard this week, but I've been playing very hard as well. I had my wedding anniversary yesterday, and we went to a very fine and I'd say gastronomic restaurant with my husband, and we had such a lovely time. It was a restaurant in the middle of the Forêt of Saint-Germain, which is near Paris. The weather was beautiful for the first time in like 3 weeks. So we were incredibly lucky. We were able to eat outside because, I mean, you can't eat indoor outside of home yet. Restaurants have not reopened completely. Only those with outdoor eating facilities are able to welcome customers. But yeah, that restaurant, which is not very far from home actually, like 15 minutes drive, and we had the most awesome lunch. It was champagne and yummy food and beautiful environment, and it was great to be able to just do something as mundane as eating at a restaurant. It was great. I mean, it's been so long. So this, with that, coupled with my shot this morning and the perspective of having both shots done before we leave for our summer vacation, it feels like things are slowly getting back to normal, and it feels so good. So again, I've been a bit sidetracked here. So I just wanted to share a couple of words about the Knit with Friends festival. So there will be a special promotions for my lovely international customers over the weekend. If you are ordering from a European country, shipping fees will be free for orders over 50 euros. So 50 euros basically is 2 skeins of yarn, plus maybe you can add a marker depending on the base, it's just 2 skeins of yarn. So that will be free shipping for you guys. So that will be with Mondial Relais wherever it's possible. So that's a shop-to-shop shipping solution, and the countries that are eligible for that are Spain, the Netherlands, Luxembourg and Belgium. And then it will be directly to home for Portugal, Italy, and I'm forgetting another, but just to let you know that it will be with Mondial Relais and with the shop-to-shop solution whenever possible. And otherwise, if you are in a European country, it will be free shipping for in the European Union. It's an important detail, because unfortunately my friends over in the UK or Switzerland, it doesn't apply because the shipping fees are not the same. Unfortunately, it's more expensive now for UK. So yeah, sorry about that, guys. But free shipping applies for the countries in the European Union over the weekend of June 5th and June 6th. So if you wanted to try a little bit of Tricot Stitch, this is your cue. Okay, so just to let you know, there is an ongoing CAL at Tricot Stitch, so you can play. International players are welcome, international participants are welcome. I have this club. Every month it renews, and you can join, and actually you don't have to join anything. Sorry, I'm getting confused. You don't have to join. You just have, if you want to buy the colorway of the month, the name of the club is the Sock Knitters Almanac. It's one colorway per month. inspired by a theme linked to the ongoing month. So for example, in January, the theme was Nuit d'hiver, so that's winter nights. And the colorway was a beautiful blend of blue colors, lots of different colors. One common point within all the colorways of the Almanac is that the colorways are very variegated, but always in the same family of colors, in either the same family of colors or the same intensity. And usually you go from one side of the chromatic circle and you go to, you go just a quadrant, or you go maybe half the circle, but that's really what I'm doing each time. I have a point on the chromatic circle that I'm departing from, and then I'm exploring the shades in between that departing point and the next point, and you have a whole array of colors between those 2 points that are applied to the yarn as layers and speckles. So the result is a variegated yarn that is beautiful to knit socks, but also shawls or sweaters, especially if you are knitting with stripes. It's gorgeous with stripes. So if what you can do is join the ongoing CAL. So for the month of May, if you're watching this on May the 31st, May the 31st is the last day to enter. So to enter, you can play along on Instagram with this hashtag, or you can play along on Ravelry, and you can find the link to the Ravelry group in the show notes. And what you win this month is a skein base of your choice in the sock bases in the shop of the colorway of the month. And this month it's Snapdragon. That's the colorway for May. And you also win a copy of the sock of the month, which is by a French designer called Tricot, and the pattern is Sostre. So each month actually I'm selecting a pattern to go along with the skin of the month, the colorway of the month. It's completely up to you to knit that pattern or anything you wish to knit with the colorway of the month. It's just a suggestion. Okay, so that was the colorway of the month, and that's the skin you can win if you join the FO Fanfare. That's the name of the monthly CAL. If you're watching this in June, it's not a problem. You have a whole new thread for June that will be opened next, early June, and you can join and you can share. Well, to enter you have to share your work in progress or your FO using Tricot Stitch yarn or Tricot Stitch pattern. So for example, if you are knitting the Litha socks from my latest design from Len magazine, you can totally join the FO Fanfare and post a picture of your your ongoing Litha socks with the hashtag on Instagram, and participate in the drawing at the beginning of July. That's for June. The drawing and the announcement of the winner for May is going to be next week. So that's Monday, June the 7th. And also I just wanted to show you guys, last month I completely forgot, because each month I have some markers in the shop that go along with the colorway of the month, and I don't know why. For May I completely skipped it, and there was no coordinated markers for May. Here they are for May. So you have some scaly one here and some sparkly one here, and it's, you see, it's pink, orange pink, and it's perfectly suited to the colorway. If you want to be knitting matchy, you can. Also, I just wanted to mention very quickly that the way Tricot Stitch works is that you have the podcast every Monday at 5 p.m. on the YouTube channel. You have the newsletter sent out every Monday at 5 p.m. also. So the link to subscribe to the newsletter is in the show notes. And you also have the shop update every Monday afternoon. So yeah, That's how it works. So about this shop update, today for you guys it's Monday the 31st of May, and I'm going to show you the colorway of the month of June for the Sock Knitter's Almanac. So for this month, the inspiration again was completely floral. So I'm really, you know, at this time of year, I'm really influenced and inspired by all the beautiful colors of, I mean, the flowers around us. In the where I live at this time of year, it's mainly lilacs, although the flowers have almost already gone now for lilacs, but also irises. Oh my god, irises are completely gorgeous. I have some in my front garden, and I'm just I'm just stopping at each time I see a new color, and I have a lot of colorways actually inspired by the colors of irises. The color combinations can be completely crazy, and you can see some beautiful and daring color combinations, or something more subtle, and but I'm completely obsessed with them. So I just want to have all the colors in my garden. I only have one variety so far, but it's because we're not owners here. We're just, you know, renting. Yeah, when I have my own garden, I will have all the colors of irises there is. I mean, not, but a lot. Okay, so the colorway of the month is called Garden Prince. And it's completely inspired by all the purples and lilacs and violets, shades of irises and lilacs you can see this time of year. So this is how the colorway looks across all the bases. Well, all the bases, not all the bases in the shops, but the sock bases on which I'm offering this colorway. You can order this colorway on any base you like. You can order them on DK, you can order them on Slub, anything you wish. Just have to drop me an email on Etsy and I will dye your custom order with pleasure. So the name of the colorway is Garden Prince, and there is different reasons for that, so let me talk to you about that just afterwards. I'm just going to show you how it looks on different bases, because the base can influence the way the dye binds with the fiber greatly. So the first I'm going to show you is this new base I've introduced in a previous episode, because my most iconic yarn base, the extra thin fingering, is currently out of stock at my supplier, which, you know, I could have decided to consider as an issue. I decided to consider that as an opportunity to explore new bases instead. So this is the results of one of the results of my explorations, and this is the extra thin sock 3-ply. So yeah, I like my base's name to be explicit and to name for what it is. It's much more easier to know what we're talking about. So that's exactly what it is. That is a sock yarn with extra fine merino. So that's the fiber diameter that is 19.5 microns, which is it's very small actually. So the smaller the diameter, the softer the yarn. So this is buttery soft, and the ply construction is 3-ply. It's a tight, well, it's a highly twisted 3-ply, and it's a very thin yarn and dense yarn, and I think it has a lot of drape. I plan to cake this one up just after this episode and just, you know, knit something with it just to try. So this is a new base. It's the first time that I'm dyeing this colorway on it, and I must say it's different. You can tell that there's not a lot of air trapped inside, because it doesn't take the dye the same as other bases that are much more lofty, and there is much more air in the fiber. So it takes the dye with intensity. It takes the speckles. The speckle definition is excellent, and you need to be a bit more subtle to dye this type of yarn, because yarn with a lot of air are just, how can I say that? Like the dye goes directly into the fiber. There it doesn't. You really need to have the both combination of acidic bath plus heat for the dye to get binded with, to get bound to the fiber. But for example, this is the same colorway on Lurex fingering. It's also a sock yarn, but the ply construction is very different. It's also a 3-ply, but you can see it's much more lofty. There is less twist, and the dye goes directly into the fiber, and you need actually to heat the pan for the dye to fix itself on the fiber. But as soon as you pour the dye, the yarn kind of suck it up, and it stays where it was when you poured it initially. Although here the dye goes a little bit more freely around the pan, and you can tell this, the dye is, the dye absorption is a little more mixed, and the dye result is more subtle. So it's up to you guys what you prefer. If you prefer something more mixed and subtle in terms of nuances, or something more variegated like the Lurex, and it's really due to how the fiber is spun. Actually, that's all about the spinning and the yarn structure. So yeah, a bit of yarn theory for you guys. Yarn and dye theory. Well, completely empiric, because it's only based on my own observations. Well, some books I've read too, but mainly on my own observations. So this is the same colorway on BFL, so that's 100% British Blueface Leicester, and you can see that the particularity of BFL is that it takes the dye intensely, and also the colors are a bit well, just like for the 3-ply, the extra thin sock 3-plies, yes, the dye travels a bit around, and the result is more subtle. On the other end of the spectrum is MCN, for which it's more like Lurex. The colorways are more precisely separated here, so you have a result that is more variegated, and you can see all the nuances, because actually that colorway starts as a very light, very pastel-y purple and blue, and then you have some layers of intense purple, violet, blue, and then a dash of orange. And this one stands between the two, I'd say, and that's Stelina. So I hope you like this colorway. So this colorway is almost, well, I've dyed a bunch of them. So since the beginning of the Sock Knitters Almanac, I've been working with pre-orders, but after a few months of pre-orders, I've been able to more or less pinpoint what you guys like in terms of bases and quantities. So now I'm able to, to dye them in advance, and you can find them in the shop as ready to ship. Oh, that's a good progress, no? Isn't it? That's progress, yes. And so garden prints, why is it garden prints? Because actually irises are, I think, like the princes of the garden. Really, they're standing tall and they're gorgeous in their shape and colors. And also it's my birthday this month, yeah, and I'm absolute fan of Prince, and his color was purple, so that's kind of a, you know, a wink to Prince and his music and the beautiful being that he was. So yeah, I hope you like them, guys. Oh, here it is caked up because my friend Letitia knitted the pattern of the month for me, so I have such good friends. And this is the leftover, but you can see how it is when the colors are redistributed and how it is in the cake. And the socks, the selection for this month are the faded princess socks. So, you know, with the Almanac socks, I'm really trying to get an overview of different sock techniques, be it on the stitch pattern, on one of the techniques for the heel, or the cuff, or the toe, or the sock constriction. And what's really interesting about this pattern is the sole, because if you look up close, it's reverse stockinette stitch. The sole is reverse stockinette stitch because it seems, and I've experienced it, and it's true. Stockinette stitch under your feet, on the sole of your feet, feels softer and more comfortable than reverse stockinette stitch. So that's why the sole of the sock is reverse stockinette stitch, so that the stockinette stitch is against your skin. So that's why it's called princess socks. That's, you know, for your princess feet. So I really wanted to try this pattern and to have it, to show it to you guys, just an alternative or to a, yeah, it's a spin of your traditional ribbed socks. And it's always nice, you know, to have something worthy of a princess on your feet. So that's for the princess in you, okay? And I'm going to show you the last bit of info. That's the markers, coordinated markers for this month's colorway. And there are two. Here they are. I think they're spot on. This one is really all about the vibrant purple you can find here, and this one is more like, look at me, I'm speckled, I'm shining, I'm iridescent, like the speckles in the yarn and the different, you know, shades of blue and purple, and yeah, they're cute this month, huh? I love them. So here you go for the Sock Knitters Almanac for this month. I hope you like you like the colorway. I hope you like the new base as well. I'm going to, you know, try the new base. I have not tried it yet, but I'm going to try it now. As soon as I'm finished, I'm going to kick it up, and I'll let you know, guys. But I really think they're perfect for socks. Perfect, and for shawls as well, because I really like the drape of the yarn. And that's it for this week. So next week, you know, when you subscribe to the Tricot Stitch newsletter, you get a free pattern. It's the Jimmy shawl. And last year, at the beginning of, you know, the lockdown in France in March, I organized a cal for this pattern. And next week we are going to start all over again. There will be kits to knit your own Jimmy shawl. There is a lot of possibilities. There will be one with completely neon colors, one with minis and autumnal shades, and I'm going to have a very posh one with beautiful yarn, two beautiful yarns, one with yak and silk and another one with mohair, merinos and mohair, and they're going to be gorgeous, and I almost done dyeing them, so I can't wait to be next week and show them to you guys. And so starting June the 16th, that's my birthday, we're going to have a call, so I'm going to cast on with you guys. And this time around, the call will be hosted and animated from Instagram. And there will be prizes to win at the end of the call. And also, I'm going to open a thread on Ravelry for those of you who really want to, you know, get a chance to win some prizes on Ravelry, but I will not be, you know, animating and hosting the call on Ravelry. It's just a place for you guys, like for the FO Fanfare, to post your picture and participate in the drawing of the prizes. But the main part of the fun will be on Instagram. So I'm going to share the details of the call next week. I'm thinking prompts, you know, like this Instagram challenge you get, but not every day, because I mean, who's going to keep up with that? But yeah, I'm thinking, and maybe something to read along. Last year we read the first mystery by Agatha Christie, featuring Miss Marple. I don't remember the name in English. Murder at the Vicarage, I think it was. And yeah, we might do that this month again, this time around again, for the Jimmy Show. So I'm going to think that through, and I will share all the details in the next podcast episode. So I hope you'll join the fun. You don't have to buy a kit to knit the Jimmy Show. You just have to subscribe to the newsletter, and you will receive the Jimmy Show as a gift. So you're welcome to join. Everything will be bilingual, so both in English and French. So any international participants welcome. Okay, so thank you guys for staying with me until the end, and I wish you a lovely week, and I'll see you next Monday. Bye bye.